NATEMBEYA is the king of that region. I'm a lawyer. I know it. Politicians can lie to you, but why would I lie? I know it to be a fact. It is Papa Oromo who is under threat. Even from the way he talks, you can see that here is a man under siege. The region is fed up with this Mudavadi and Wetangula and all those kind of old politicians. People want young, more promising politicians. You see, and it's not for nothing, because our politicians have been there forever. Yeah. I don't want us to look at what's going on in Mbere and think it's just Mbere. I don't want us to look at what's going on in Malava or Bungoma and say this is just isolated. It's not isolated.
Or in Kasipur.
We are buildings, the build of Kasipur, when people just descend on each other and then they kill a human being and the election goes on as if nothing has happened. Then IBC says 1 million shillings each.
Yeah. Election offense.
They should tell us those people are not contesting.
Good to have you on Richard Mwenja Exclusive. Let's make sense of political and governance issues in Kenya. And more particularly, let's narrow down to the events of this weekend, last weekend rather. Of course, the United Opposition was making their Western tour, trying to ramp up support for their candidates in the upcoming by-elections. But something interesting happened in Kabuchai, that is in Bungoma County, attack on the entourage of Governor NATEMBEYA. I'm going to have this conversation with Professor Herman Manyora, but first things first, Prof. Great to see you.
Thank you.
You're doing fantastic.
Oh, can't complain.
All right. You've warned Kenyans that if you're not careful, then the 2027 elections will be one of the most violent, all thanks to this culture of goonism, goonship, that we seem to be embracing by the day.
Yes, yes.
Well, some say it is NATEMBEYA who stage managed that attack on himself just to get some sympathy vote for the candidates he's supporting. Others say this is the state fearing the wave opposition is creating, especially in Western Kenya. How do you measure these events from Bungoma last weekend?
First of all, that is sad, very unfortunate. This country has left this kind of behavior behind. During elections, it was very common to see this kind of thing in the 60s and 70s and a bit of 80s. And I think we have moved away from that. For anybody to take us back, it is really unfortunate. Whether it is stage managed or not, it is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
I happen to follow a bit of it, and I wouldn't be so sure about this stage managing. NATEMBEYA is already strong on the ground. What would he stage manage something like that for? He's already the king on the ground.
Even
a
in
person who is
backyard?
weak, the one in the weaker position is the one who would stage manage. NATEMBEYA is the stronger one. How would he stage manage an attack on himself? Moreover, this is not Nairobi, where you can get lost in a crowd. That is Bungoma. Everybody knows each other. You can't stage manage that thing in a place like Bungoma, in Nyeri, in Vihiga, where I come from, in Trans Nzoia you come from. You can't, because kila mtu anajuana. People know each other. Yeah. You can do it in Nairobi here, where you can get lost in a crowd. But in the villages, everybody knows each other. Yeah.
You're talking about if there was any stage managing, then the attack solely lies in the hands of that who feels his backyard is sitting away from their hand.
Yeah.
And in this case, that was Bungoma County.
Yes.
And Papa Waroma, that is Moses Wetangula, National Assembly Speaker,
he's the one who feels. He has the motive. Lawyers will talk about motive. It's Papa Waroma who would have the motive. His staff has been invaded, and invaded successfully.
Successfully?
Yeah. NATEMBEYA is the king of that region. I'm a lawyer. I know it. Politicians can lie to you, but why would I lie? I know it to be a fact. It is Papa Oromo who is under threat. Even from the way he talks, you can see that here is a man under siege.
In the balance of the time, he has 2 years to the next election. Does he stand a chance to redeem his ground when it comes to just being the face of Bungoma County, let alone Western Kenya, and make sure NATEMBEYA cannot make inroads to take that vast baton from him?
You see, the unfortunate truth for Mudavadi, Wetangula, Paranya, and the rest of these legacy politicians from the region, all the politicians. The wave for generation change is real.
This is a generational issue?
People are tired of these old politicians. It's a national thing. It's a Kenyan thing. But I'm talking about the Mlembe nation. That is the position. It's more so within the Mlembe nation. The region is fed up with this Mudavadi and Wetangula and all those kind of old politicians. People want young, more promising politicians. You see, and it's not for nothing because our politicians have been there forever. If you may want to be reminded, Mudavadi came to power around 1980 something when the father died.
Barely 30 years.
Yeah, and he has been there. He has been there like for 40 years, 30 something years. And he has been in the cabinet. He has been big things, including vice president.
Did the people feel it?
Wetangula has been there for ages. But people are saying they don't feel. And NATEMBEYA is selling that message. And if these are the people you are putting, you are putting on the table, on the national table, then it's very unfortunate for you. They have never brought anything, they are not bringing, and they will never bring. And that message has sunk. So I think it is the Mudavadis, and you hear them talk. You heard Mudavadi speak in Malava.
Sure.
Yeah, they are fighting back. So it is they who would have the motive. I'm not saying they did it. I'm just looking at who between NATEMBEYA and Wetangula would instill violence. It must be a man under siege, and that is Wetangula. And I'm not saying he has done it. Yeah.
Prof, just so to avoid that violent 2027 election, because you've said if we continue elevating the place of money in Kenyan politics, then that is going to be our fate. How can we change tact in the remaining time to make sure that even come 2027, a Kenyan youth won't take a panga just because he's been given 1,000 shillings or 200 shillings to go against the competitor that they are supporting?
You know, we have been moving away from this kind of thing. But if you look at the past 2 or so years, this thing has been brought back. It's been sneaking back. You've seen goons under supervision of police during demonstrations. So, you know, what you sow is what you get. Mungiki didn't just happen. All those vigilantes and other groups, they didn't just happen. Politicians made use of them. And then they fell emboldened. They fell indispensable. Then before you know, if the pattern is known, a group cannot grow to be as powerful as Mungiki on its own. It must be nurtured by politicians, by those in power. They put them to use. Then they outgrow that. Then they become their own terror, men, and they are terror, a law unto themselves. If you look at any organized group, these goons, from Mombasa, Kilifi, Mombasa, Nairobi, Kisumu, Baghdad, all those boys, none could have reached where they reached without the support of politicians. And we had learned enough lessons. We saw where these things could lead us. Our politics has been devoid of violence, but now it is sneaking back. What we need to do is to be honest with ourselves.
In what sense?
And to sit down as a country. The security agents, IEBC, the political class, and other players, the media included. We sit down and say, look at what is going on now, and this is just a small by-election in Malava. Look at the tension in Mbeere North. Are we really going to manage 2027? The scale is going to be frightening. So we have to sit down and do something. I have no answer now. The only answer is a suggestion, and to me that's the only solution. People should now sit down and use this to help them see how bad 2027 can be. Yeah. You know what Kenyans don't know, and I've repeated this thing. Losing a country has never been a difficult thing. You know, Kenyans think something very big has to happen for people to lose their country. No. Look at the countries that have gone to the dogs. It's never anything big. People can persevere big things for centuries. The Russian slaves or serfs had been like that for centuries. The French had suffered under kings, many, many kings for centuries. The workers of the world had suffered for many, many years from the time formal employment came into being. But it's normally something happens and everything goes to the dogs. So the tension I'm seeing in Mbeere North, the near death, the kind of life or death approach to the Mbeere North election, the wars in Western Kenya, including somebody died in a fairly homogeneous place in Nyanza. Those are supposed to be the brothers and sisters, complete in a way you can't find it. There is not much competition there. Just a normal by-election and somebody's already dead. Not to mention the many who have been injured. And if we are not careful, 2027 will be very bad.
You said something interesting and it makes me wonder. So it doesn't have to take 100 catastrophes for Kenya to come close to Somalia.
No. This is a message I want to share with Kenyans. I want to share this message with Kenyans. It's never big things that bring down countries. Hii mchezo mnacheza tu vitu kama hii. And the country becomes ungovernable. Right. And you look at the Kenya you knew, you ask yourself, what is happening? I'm telling you, you just wake up one day and it's not the country you knew. Ile kufunga tai unafunga kama yako unaenda ofisi gani?
Shall be refugees in other countries?
Oh darling, let's do quickly, tutachelewa shule. You are kid. You want to put to take her to school.
Hapa Lavington.
Jump running to the car.
Yeah.
My friend, hiyo hakuna. You know, people who have gone through this, when they see us doing stupid things, they sympathize with us.
Don't laugh at Sudanese in Nairobi.
No. When they look at us, they say, do these people know what they are playing around with? This peace is God-given. This tranquility, this order, this is God-given. Let's not play around with it. So every time there is any form of political violence, we must run away from it. When I see politicians organizing goons to beat fellow Kenyans in Nairobi during demonstrations, supplied with
batons
in Eldoret, in Kakamega, in Nairobi, supervised by the police, I say, do we know what we are playing around with? Do we know what we are doing? So that you may be in power. So that you may be the governor or the MP or the president or whatever these small little things are. My friend, I keep telling Kenyans, to find yourself in Mozambique as a refugee is not a very difficult thing. It's not difficult. You close your eyes, you open the eyes, you are a refugee. And I've seen some of these things and I wondered, am I the only one who sees this, or Kenyans? Them, they are so happy they don't see. Sometimes, maybe it depends on how sensitive an individual is. I've witnessed the trek of people from DRC, from Rwanda, going to Tanzania, being knocked down like flies by cholera. Because as they travel, they camp, and then the diseases and what, and the women and what. If that doesn't touch you as a human being, then you are just an animal. Because you may be in a position perhaps to jump on the next plane and go and live in Australia on your farm which you bought. But you want millions of your fellow countrymen to die, to live like animals, to slaughter each other. So we need to be very careful. 2027 can prove to be very dangerous.
You're making sense.
Because if police cannot handle a by-election in one place or two places, when they will have 290 constituencies, what will they do? What is at stake is something small now. But in 2027, the presidency will be at stake.
That's
It
a
can't get
fundamental
higher
question.
than that. Can it get higher than that?
No.
If we organize goons supervised by police to beat fellow Kenyans,
Harmless Gen Zs for that case.
what is going to happen in 2027 when we are not disputing, when it's not dispute over a bill? The dispute is about who will become president or who remains president. Are we not setting we are setting ourselves up for serious problem and trouble? Yeah. I don't want us to look at what's going on in Mbere and think it's just Mbere. I don't want us to look at what's going on in Malava or Bungoma and say this is just isolated. It's not isolated.
Or in Kasipur.
We are buildings, the Bull or Kasipur, when people just descend on each other and then they kill a human being and the election goes on as if nothing has happened. Then IBC says 1 million shillings each.
Yeah. Election offenses.
They should tell us those people are not contesting.
Disqualify them.
Yes. Yes. So that Kenyans can know. It took ICC for us to stop slaughtering each other in 2013. 2013 would have been very bad. Election was done peacefully.
Because of the ICC scare.
ICC scare. By now, people in Bungoma should be inside. Somebody should have been disqualified in Kasipur.
Right.
The elections of Mbere should be nullified by the courts in the first instance of a petition in a week's time. We have seen bribery in broad daylight. People are queuing in their thousands to receive money. What else will the courts be waiting for, the High Court?
That's sufficient evidence.
Sufficient evidence. Somebody should just do what the law requires. If you have digital evidence, what you must do. And now we have satellite images we can get. All those crowds of people queuing to get bribes in the open daylight. What would the court be? Why would the court require more than 2 days to nullify that election? For example, if one party went to court.
Yeah.
Unless we move in that direction, we are setting up ourselves for trouble.
Going by your recent
And when it comes, don't blame anybody.
we made our bed.
Yeah, you made your bed, lie on it.
One question comes to mind, Prof. So then again, for Erastus Ethekon, so far, has he inspired confidence in you? If your reservations are anything to go by.
By?
But if your reservation are anything to go by, looking at even the by-elections, how the campaigning has been handled and all other issues, the goonship there in political violence,
Yes.
do you feel there is more he needs to do in the balance of the time?
It's a joke. Everything's a joke. These are not men and women who can manage an election. And I've said this. I was on, I think, Citizen TV. When 4 commissioners were appointed, 4 or 5, I can't remember the number. I looked at them. It's part of what we are discussing on TV. And I said, these are jokers. These cannot be commissioners. And is it some Gituk or whatever, where the house? I told Manyora, you can't talk that about Kenyans. I said, let me explain. These are Kenyans, they are good people. But that's as far as it goes. An election can destroy a country. Elections have destroyed countries. The body that handles an election must be made up of the best the country can afford. Because the country at that moment is in their hands. You cannot put the future of a country, the future of our children, in the hands of certain useless fellows picked for anything but merit.
We are gambling with disaster?
It's disaster. You are playing with disaster.
Well, there you have it. That has been our conversation today on Richard Mwenje exclusive unpacking the events of Saturday and Sunday when the United Opposition were making their tour across Western region and also going down there in Nyanza, just trying to ramp up support for their candidates in the upcoming by-elections. Prof says one thing: violence should not have a place in our elections, before elections and even after elections. And if you're not careful, then we are caught in a disaster that we'll only realize it's too hard for us to tame when it's grown into a monster. beyond that which you can manage. We get to do this again tomorrow evening. For now though, how about you get subscribed to the channel? Like this edition, comment, share with your friends, and more importantly, reach out to us for business via the numbers and contacts displayed at the description part of this screen. Up next is Evan Sokinyi with his edition.